Welcome! Today, my colleagues and I at Sigma Analytical Services are going to discuss the importance and benefits of following GMP for testing cannabis products. Good manufacturing practice, GMP, is defined as the part of quality assurance which ensures that products are consistently produced and controlled to the quality standards appropriate for their intended use. It is a collection of procedures, standards, and practices to be implemented as part of an effective quality assurance system. GMP was originally created for the pharmaceutical industry, but was adopted also in the medical devices, food, cosmetics, supplements, and recently in many legalized jurisdictions, cannabis industries. In Canada's pharmaceutical industry, all drug manufacturers must comply with GMP requirements. Therefore, each batch of product during all stages of the manufacturing process shall be manufactured and testing in a GMP environment. While only GPP, Good Production Practices, a simplified version of GMP, is currently mandatory for cannabis products in Canada for now, major licensed producers are already following and are compliant with GMP, as those with export and international operations must do so, since GMP is mandatory in Europe and Australia's regulatory requirements for cannabis products. GMP principles cover a wide variety of areas which have a direct or indirect impact on final product quality, efficacy, and safety. It controls and regulates all the steps, including supplier qualification, purchasing and incoming inspection of raw material, production, sampling, testing, equipment qualification, documentation, environmental condition, training, releasing the product, which means all the required specifications, and post-market surveillance activities. As GMP requirements apply to the entire manufacturing process, from supply of the raw material to release of the products and post-market activities, an important part of GMP compliance is quality control and product testing according to established standards. Working with a GMP licensed lab and working in compliance with GMP when testing the products will help manufacturers obtain accurate and reliable testing results in a safe and controlled environment, release their products with confidence and assurance, and prevent any health and safety risk to end consumers, as well as any damages to manufacturers' business and reputation.
What are the advantages of GMP compliant testing labs? Laboratory testing is the evaluation of if the manufacturing principles in place are operating to produce safe, efficacious, and high quality products. As such, GMP practices used in the production are also used in the analysis of the product. Good manufacturing practice is applied in the laboratory as a quality system to analyze the uniformity, consistency, reliability, reproducibility, quality, and integrity of products. Testing of finished products is completed to ensure products meet safety and quality requirements to release to the market. For laboratories to ascertain findings from the test, the quality infrastructure must be in place to validate that any results gained are reliable and accurate. GMP in the laboratory covers all policies, procedures, practices, processes, equipment qualification, methods, scientific rationale, product release specifications, risk management, and many more aspects. Cannabis testing labs in Canada must standardize and validate their analytical, physical, and microbial test methods per Section 92(1) of the cannabis regulations. Validation of test methods will assure the method will deliver accurate results. Standardization and validation are the key elements for cannabis product quality control. Validation of test methods is required to be conducted in a suitable and controlled environment and according to the established guidelines. For this reason, a GMP-compliant environment and having a proper quality system management in place can play a critical role in testing results and data accuracy and integrity. Quality management system in a GMP-compliant testing lab will help to ensure methods are fully validated and the accuracy, sensitivity, specificity, and reproducibility of test methods are established and documented. Personnel are qualified and competent to carry out any responsibilities and tasks they are involved in. Personnel are trained properly and the training is verified for its effectiveness. Equipment, including software and computer systems, is qualified and calibrated, installation qualification, operational qualification, and performance qualification, IQ, OQ, PQ, for the intended use, and is monitored and maintained periodically to ensure it's performing as expected.
GMP basically covers a number of areas, including supplier qualification, purchasing, production, testing, documentation, training, and even releasing the product to market. And as far as testing is concerned, which is the main subject of this presentation, testing is a significant part of this picture because good and accurate and reliable results ensure that the products are manufactured and produced consistently and at high quality. And it involves a number of things. For a testing lab to be GMP compliant, the methods that are being used must be validated according to established guidelines, and it covers specificity, accuracy, precision, linearity, range, a number of different parameters. The personnel must be qualified to begin with and must be trained periodically. The equipment, including the software, the hardware, must be qualified, must be calibrated regularly. The data integrity is a very significant part of GMP, and in fact, in the pharma industry, it's one of the most important parts of GMP regulation to make sure that all the results, all the data are traceable and are backed up, and the data integrity is preserved from the sample to the results. And test failures are investigated and documented, and the reasons behind any kind of failure have been investigated and documented. Environmental factors that could impact the results are fully documented, defined, and monitored. So if there is any kind of issues with respect to temperature, humidity in the lab, those are documented and can be traced. So with all these things in place, once deviations are observed, corrective and preventive actions can be taken to improve the processes in the lab. So with this level of control, the risk of non-compliance or recalls or other liabilities will be significantly reduced. And the good news is that in Canada, we already have a very established framework, regulatory framework for GMP under Health Canada's Drug Establishment License, which is currently applied to pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals. And we think it's about time for the cannabis industry to adopt these for testing labs. And by adopting these kind of measures, issues such as THC and CBD values not matching the label claim, or some other recalls that we have recently seen in Canada, in Germany, in Australia, those could be avoided or reduced, because once labs follow certain rules and all labs follow the same rules, the possibility of seeing vastly different results would be much less. That's what we are seeing currently in the market, and would bring a lot of consistency and accuracy back to the cannabis industry, and ultimately serving both the producers and the consumers of the product. So with that said, we would like to see actions from the LPs. When you're choosing your lab, please take a look at their GMP, Drug Establishment License. Having that in place ensures that there's an extra level of compliance, and the results that you get from that lab would be trusted and would be more reliable.